Welcome to Stage Door with Michael
and Divina. I'm Michael.
And I'm Divina. And we'll be meeting a lot of exciting and interesting people from all across the theatre world.
So basically, we're pretending that we're hanging out at the stage doors so we can chat to all our favourite theatre stars.
And get all the news and gossip about what's happening in the theatre world and with them.
Yes, we want to get to know them and we want to know what makes them tick. We are so excited to welcome the incredible Grace Mouat today.
Hooray!
Hiya!
Welcome to the stage door.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We are at the stage door of Mean Girls. How do you feel? Can we get your autograph?
Here you go.
To come
out.
Did you enjoy the chaos that has preceded our interview?
I absolutely loved it. I used to have a podcast, so I relate. I know how it feels. I can't imagine doing it with two people. Say the words! I think you should keep it, to be honest.
We're fully keeping that.
You have to.
Oh, dear. Well, it's your line now, Divina. Come on.
It is. So, we should start by saying that Grace, as well as being a musical theatre actress and performer, you are also a podcaster with a podcast called Cut to the Grace.
Back in the day, not anymore. Back in the day.
Well, maybe this is your call to restart it. And
honestly, every time I do a podcast or I listen to a podcast, I'm like, I need to get back into that because I just love chatting, and like I just used to love it, and then life happens. But maybe watch this space.
Okay,
but for now, it's all about Stage Door.
Gorgeous. So you might restart it. What I want to know is how and why and when did it get started? What was the thing that initiated that?
My podcast or my career?
Your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, my podcast kind of came about. I just love a chat. I love a chat, and I sometimes I leave chatting with friends over a coffee the same way I leave a therapy session. You know, it's that same kind of like, it just makes me feel so good. And I love putting the worlds to rights. I love talking about random things. And I was like, in the pandemic, I was just like, I feel like I need to record these conversations sometimes because so many of my friends or people I speak to are so wise. I'm like, I need to remember that. And then also, I think I called it Cut to the Grace because I think I just like the name, to be honest. It's had nothing really to do with it. But I wanted to find out different creative people in our industry. I wanted to find out kind of more about who they were outside of their jobs and, you know, what defines them. Because I feel like it's, you know, I feel like I've worked very hard now in my career post Six the Musicale to kind of make a name for myself that isn't around Six the Musicale. But, you know, back in like the 2018 to pandemic really era, I'm very grateful for Six. It launched my career, but I do think that I was associated with the show a lot. And I was like, I'm so much more than a musical. Like, I love this and I love crafts and I love doing this and baking and cooking and my dog, and there is so much more to me than like Grace from Six, which is what a lot of people used to call me, sometimes seriously and sometimes as a joke. But I kind of started the podcast in that sense. I just wanted, because I know that a lot of people, you know, you end up being defined, I guess, by the job you're in, which is an amazing thing, but also sometimes it's nice to like share who you actually are outside, and I think a lot of people were quite interested in that too. So, for example, with Louise Dearman, we spoke a lot about her being a mum, and Kerry Ellis, we spoke about a lot of her like fitness and things like that, and it was just really interesting to find out more about those people who we see as associated with these specific massive musicals, about what they actually do with their day-to-day lives and what makes them them. So, yeah.
And you said that a lot of them were really wise and they, you know, would say really wise things. I want to know what the wisest thing was that somebody because I'm
really wise, yeah.
Not very wise. I'm sat here having spent 3 hours getting ready when everybody else can just rock up. I don't think that's a wise choice. So what was the wisest thing that somebody said to you over one of those things? What's the one piece of advice or thing that's really stuck with you from those chats on podcasts?
Oh my gosh. I think Marisha Wallace, she was the first person I'd heard comparison is the killer of joy. And now I hear it all the time, but she was the first person I'd heard say that on my podcast. And that was a very I was like, oof. I think I just, in that moment, I really needed it. And I was like, that's so true. And because it really is, like, it's the thief of all progress. If you compare yourself, you're just going to take a back step. So
but we all do it, don't we?
That's a good one. We all do it.
Like, especially in this industry, because, you do something and then somebody else is, they're doing that and then they're doing that. And we kind of came from the same place, or we do the same sort of thing. So why am I not doing that? I should be doing that. Why am I not? And then you lose what your path is, don't you? Because that's not your path. That's their path. Let them walk their path.
Hang on. Can I pause quick? It's just getting a bit quiet.
Yeah, you're quieter, Divina. I don't know
Am
why.
I?
Oh, there you are.
I'm louder again now. Okay.
Yes, you're back. You just went into the you're like...
Definitely.
We're both like leaning in.
Definitely back. Yeah.
As if leaning in is going to make any difference. But there I was, like, can you just say that again?
Are you there? Yeah, it's
that's so silly.
I find myself doing it all the time because, of course, you come from something like Drag Race. It doesn't matter what you've done before. You've done that. Everybody knows you for that. And then suddenly, they're doing this and they're doing that and they're off here and they're doing that. And you're like, I'm in my garage.
But you're slaying.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that they have their path. Let them have their path, and you focus on yours. I think most of us would be much happier, actually, if we could all just focus a little bit on what it is that we're doing ourselves.
For sure. So Grace, let's go back before 6 then. What was the journey like? Did you always perform as a kid and then 6 was your first audition, or were there many other opportunities between those times?
So I feel like I never really had like a light bulb moment as to when I decided I wanted to pursue a career in musical theatre. Like, my mum thinks I do when I went to see Wicked, but I don't. I just think I honestly was just surrounded by like-minded people. Obviously, your gorgeous wife, Nicole Turner, and her sister, Natalie, are my 2 best friends. We went to secondary school together, so that was year 7. So how old are you when you go to secondary school? Like 11?
11.
Yeah.
11.
So, such a young age. And then, we always just loved musicals and doing the, extracurricular activities. I also went to the GSA Saturday School and did Amdram and dance classes. And I think slowly I was starting to realise that, firstly, those were the people that I just vibrated with. I was attracted to spending time with creative performing people as opposed to normal people. Not that we're not normal, but you know what I mean. And because they would, I was just thriving in those environments. And then I kind of also realised that you could dance and sing and act at the same time. It wasn't a thing in isolation, because initially I just wanted to be in dance music videos and be like a backup dancer for Beyonce, and then I was like, I also really like singing. I could do it at the same time and tell a story. I was like, that's quite cool. And then I also we're so lucky, Michael, with our location, how close it is to London. I would always go up with my mum on the train over the weekend, and it's very lucky we'd watch a show and, come back and chat about it, and I'd write in my little notebook what I loved about it and who I liked and stuff. And it was just always kind of there. It was always just a part of my life. And then I ended up having a gap year, didn't get into drama school the first year round. I kind of gave myself 5 years. I was like, if I'll have a gap year, it's the last chance I'll ever be able to, get a year of living like a normal person. Did panto, did workshops, worked in Nando's, worked in a pub, just did all the normal people things, and then got into the degree course at GSA. And then I'd had a few auditions. The team at Les Mis come in. I'd had a couple of other things, but I think 6 was probably one of the first auditions I'd had. So I was still going through my head of year at drama school at the time.
Oh, wow.
And we kind of me and Maya, we were both in for different shows that are big, commercial, massive shows. Both got right down to the final for both of them and desperately, desperately wanted them. Mine was Les Mis, and I think Maya's was Motown.
Who were you
Hope she doesn't mind me
auditioning
saying
for
that.
in Les Mis? Was it?
It was like the cover Fontaine track.
Oh.
And I was like, there's always people, like a few who from GSA who go into Les Mis. There used to be.
I just thought it might have been Gavroche or...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I wanted, but they were like, just not yet. You look too young. But that was the dream of the dream. And we were also in for 6 at a time, but we had no idea what it was because they weren't giving us much information at all. Like, it was this brand new original thing. And we both kind of thought it was going to be like a theatre and education, you know, like a horrible histories vibe. Like going into schools and things like that. Like, we were like, oh, and then, but I didn't get Les Mis, she didn't get Motown, and we're like, well, we've both got 6, at least we'll be together, see what it is, who knows, we'll have fun, we'll go to the Edinburgh Fringe and it'll be great. And then it just went, like, blew up, and I was so grateful to have Maya during that time, and like someone who, like, you know, we'd been through the whole of drama school together and then got to go into our first job together. And I think having her as my, like, support was vital.
Because that must have been a hell of a baptism of fire as well. Because it wasn't like you just went in and you were playing one part. You were, like, swing for 6 different roles over it. So you're playing, you're learning everybody's role. And you're the dance captain as well. And you're straight out of drama school. Like, that is a hell of a responsibility for somebody who's so young and so fresh, and you know, it's very easy when you're, I mean, I've been in a room with you and you are very much the mother hen, you know, like, I loved watching you kind of, you need this, you know, go over here and do this, at the musical corn event, you know, so I can see that you have that kind of old head on your young shoulders, but still, like, you're a baby at that point, and it's very easy to be kind of railroaded into doing stuff that isn't necessarily your job. How did you manage to juggle that? What was that like?
It was really hard with 6, like being the swing, especially because there's not really any shows like it where they have one cover who does all of them. And, like, you know, I was kind of asking my friend, I had a friend on 6 in Motown as a swing. My agent at the time was like dance captain swing of Mamma Mia for ages, and they were kind of explaining to me about swing Bibles and things like that, and this is what you do and this is, but they're such different shows, and it's like a whole different thing when you're covering 6 leads on your own. Actually, I think they're both just as hard, but I think they're just different, you know, because I guess there was a lot of choreography and a lot of, like, traffic and things like that, but there wasn't any set changes, any costume changes, things like that, and it was more about putting my spin on the characters and making sure I was standing in the right place in that sense. I think I remember what I found the most difficult wasn't actually being the swing, it was being the swing of a brand new musical. Basically, I would come into rehearsals, we'd learn Ex-Wives, for example. I'd go home to my student house in Guildford with my TV remote in my hand, and I'd learn Ex-Wives as every single different queen. And then I'd go get on the train the next morning, get to rehearsals, and, you know, rightly so, it's a brand new musical, but it'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to change it all because we've just been thinking about it overnight, and it's not what we pictured. So that was the actual difficult thing, was the changes, like, because I'm like, do I give up my evening and spend every minute learning all these parts when I know it's probably going to change? Like, so that was really difficult, but I think it also set me up really well going into the other new musicals that I did, because I had that kind of, like, just get on with it attitude, and, like, you always have to remind yourself, change is good, because that's just, the beauty of new musicals. So.
I agree. However, there is also a responsibility from the directors and choreographers, if they are going to make that choice, to inform the people that then affects. I think there's a conversation in the industry about, you know, the hierarchy of things. you're making changes, great, fantastic. But you know that this other person is going home and working on this. So if that is going to happen, tell us which bits are going to happen so that I'm not spending 3 hours when I go home working through everything. That might be helpful. I don't know.
And also I just think new musicals need funding for workshops, full stop.
Yeah.
Like, they need more funding, and it's just not enough at the moment, especially new British musicals. So, you know, I totally get it. I think it all comes from like a higher thing of just we need more time, we need more funding, we need more time. But we did it, and we got all 6 learned. But yeah, I think that was the biggest challenge is covering them all. But once I got it, and like I was very lucky with the group of amazing girls that I had, that they were just so supportive, and like if I was going the wrong way, they'd just tug me over to the left, like, we're going this way. Or if I like accidentally like said someone else's line, because I'd like kind of learnt the whole show as a monologue, and it kind of splits the lines up, and sometimes I would just carry on and say someone else's line, and they'd be like, oh, okay. So I was grateful.
Like a major mistake, was there ever? What was?
Yeah, funnily enough, like most of my biggest mistakes were in the last 5 weeks of my contract and not the first. Because I was doubling up for Anne Juliet in the day and then going to 6 in the evening. And bearing in mind, Anne Juliet was Monday to Saturday and 6 was Tuesday to Sunday. So I had no day off for 5 weeks, and I just didn't know where I was. And then this one time I'd done the whole show as Aragon, Catherine of Aragon, but I was convinced that I was on for Howard in the Megamix. And so it goes with so much more than beheaded, and I was like, divorce, and then I was just like, oh my god, I'm Aragon, and I was running around on the stage like, where do I go? And then also there was the time I sang I Don't Need Your Love in about 5 different keys because I didn't have my inners in. It was a whirlwind. But I loved it. I really loved it, and like I'm grateful for those experiences.
Absolutely. Well, you've just mentioned Anne Juliet, and look, we don't just get anybody on this show. We get the best of the best. We've got, obviously you were nominated for a Mousetrap Award with Anne Juliet. Tell us about that.
Yes, was I? I thought that was
Davina tells me.
I'm thinking of the West End Wilmers.
No, it was a Mousetrap, yeah. I've done my research.
Because I got the West End Wilmers for 6 for Best Understudy. And then, what was the Mousetrap one? Best Understudy?
Saving the show. Saving the day.
Slay!
She
Thank
didn't even
you,
know.
Mousetrap.
No. Awards.
You've done your Googling. I can tell. I knew because Davina liked my post at like 3 a.m. the other day. I was like, funny. She's stalking me ready for my interview. Yeah, I loved Anne Juliet. It was so fun. Was that
Amazing.
Wait, what was the question?
No, I was just wondering about awards and how it feels to receive awards and be nominated for things.
Oh, I think it's lovely, and I also think it's so lovely that more people are having understudy awards now, because some of the stories that this industry has had with understudies is, you just would never believe it. Like, and I'm so glad that so many companies are like putting in the recognition. I think the bigger ones, you know who you are, they still need to catch up. Get that best understudy category in, Mr. Olivier.
Mr. Olivier.
Yeah, I think it's a really lovely thing, and very grateful for, you know, when I know it doesn't mean things, and it was just lovely to have that kind of recognition of being like someone who doesn't know you has acknowledged that you've worked very hard. I think that's always a nice feeling, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're going to put you on the spot now, Grace. We're going to ask you to name as many musical theatre shows as you can in 30 seconds. So there's no right or wrong. Well, there are right and wrongs, but we'll count them up as you go. Are you ready with the clock?
Any shows.
Any show.
Any shows.
whether you've been in it or
many as
not.
can in
Rogue.
30 seconds.
Go on, Divina.
Okay.
Are you ready? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
6, Wicked, Les Mis and Juliet, Les Miserables, Bonnie and Clyde, Heathers, Ghost the musical, Shrek the musical, Roger Hammerstein Cinderella, Legally Blonde, 13 Going on 30, Halls the musical, Time Traveler's Wife, Oklahoma, Anything Goes, South Pacific.
17.
That's so
5.
hard. And I said South Pacific. Like, why was that in my head?
I just love that we had Les Mis and then Les Miserables.
Les Miserables. Les Mis.
I was like,
I didn't clock that. So it's 16. But still very good. Very good.
Was it good? Was that good compared
Well
to... How did Zoe do?
Davina adding
not that
on
I'm
5.
Zoe said 5.
No, Zoe got 10, but Davina gave her 15, and you
No,
just got
she got
11, and
14.
Davina gave you 16.
I
We'll count it
on
back.
my hands. Well, anyway, I'm not very good at math. So I said, I think it's 16, but maybe it was 11.
Oh, very good.
I'll take 16. Thanks, babe.
So you've done tons and tons of shows, like tons of them. You've managed something which is a bit of a dream of mine. You've been part of a cast recording, and not just one either. You've got There's Alice Down the Rabbit Hole, and Juliet, and Great British Bake Off. How does it feel knowing that when people listen to those soundtracks, they're listening to you?
Oh, it's scary, especially with Bake Off and with Alice Down the Rabbit Hole was a lovely a concept album for the person who wrote Bake Off, actually, Pippa Cleary. But the one with Bake Off is I'd done the workshop for Bake Off, but when I recorded the song, we hadn't even started rehearsals, and I was so nervous. And I listened back to it, and by the end of the run of the show, 8 shows a week, you find your flow, you find your thing, it gets into the muscle memory of your voice. I listen back to the soundtrack and I'm like, oh, I do that differently now, or I do that bit differently, and that bit sounds a bit more settled, and that bit sounds a bit more like this, but that's fine. And I just love the song. Every night getting to do that song was so much fun. But yeah, that is very weird. And sometimes yeah, I don't know. I think with Bake Off, it was just such a special, special show that I really love listening back to it. I would never usually listen to myself. I don't really like listening to myself singing, but with that one, especially all the silly songs like the semi-final when we're like, gotta get it in the oven. Do you know what I mean? It's just so
You sound
stupid.
amazing. I loved the show. I want to come back. You were brilliant.
Same.
Also,
it was just the most wholesome, beautiful show ever. Bring it back.
Bring it back. You mentioned before about doing 8 shows a week, and maybe even more than that when you were doing double shows. Obviously, keeping fit is important, and I know you've started with Nicole doing reformer Pilates. Are there other elements of fitness that you do, or do you have a routine before a show or in the morning? What's your routine, I guess, to getting fit for shows?
Love this question. Yeah, I go to a wonderful place called Soul Cycle, and it's so many people are like, whoa, isn't Soul Cycle like a cult, and they all ride bikes in the dark by candlelight, and I'm like, yes, and it's amazing. But the thing I love about Soul Cycle is my best friend Liv Alexander is my instructor, and so I'm very lucky that I got to go and ride her classes, and she's just amazing. It's so great for performers. I cannot rave about it enough, because firstly, because you're singing along to all the songs on the bike, it has helped me so much with performing Sexy and Mean Girls, because I'm so used to singing whilst I'm out of breath, because I'm always singing when I'm at Soul Cycle, because I'm on the bike singing Beyonce and stuff, and so it really helps my stamina and my breath support and stuff. And also they do a lot of TED Talks kind of vibes, it's very inspirational speeches and things like that. And also they're like, it's literally trained into the instructors to not make it an aesthetic based class. Like there's no one going like, come on, get rid of those rolls or anything toxic and ridiculous like that. Like it's all about your mind, and that's literally why it's called Soul Cycle. And I usually do it like twice a week, and even if it's just twice a week, it makes the biggest change to my week. And also just getting to see my friends, so that's something I do. Love Pilates. I like to have a good old stretch, but I've kind of gone out of the weightlifting vibe at the minute. I'll probably come back to it, but because I'm just loving my Pilates and Soul Cycle, because I'm trying to fix my broken back. So it's not actually broken, just FYI.
It's all
for listeners.
body weight infused, if you make sense. So it's supposed to be better for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like less chance of pulling a muscle, kind of thing. Obviously, you're in Mean Girls, of course, playing Karen, which is very exciting. If you could choose to be a different role, which would you choose?
Oh, that's such a great question. I mean, I'd love to do a Regina, just because I'm so not Regina that I think it would be hilarious. But also, Damien is just my favourite part. I think if that wasn't a thing, I would love to be Damien. Cause
just very quickly sum up Mean Girls for us, like how it's been going, like what people can expect, just because we've been chatting so much, we just need to get those little lines in, but we know we don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, it's so fine. Mean Girls is amazing. It is a Broadway transfer, but totally original. So it's like the same. It's kind of a lovely mix of the Broadway production and the new film, but also with our own London 2024 stamp. The people were lovely. The role is just such a dream. Like I love playing Karen. She's just silly and fun, and I get to like try new things. And I feel like our director Casey Nicolau he gave me so much creative license to like bring myself to the character, which I was really grateful for, and we're just having such a laugh. I share a dressing room with Elena Jessie, who plays Gretchen, and we just laugh a lot, to the point that it actually sometimes hurts my voice. I get to the end of an 8-show week and I'm like, why is my voice so tired when I only have one solo? And then I was like, it's because I'm cackling all the time. Do you know what I mean?
That's brilliant.
But yeah, it's good vibes. It's full out.
And it's been a joy chatting with you today, Grace. Thank you so much for giving us.
It's been a joy chatting to you.
We'd like to finish the show with a little challenge. So the previous guest sings a line of a song, and then you have to finish it. And then you have to give us your favourite musical theatre song, so that the next guest can try and finish that. So are you ready?
I love that game! That's amazing.
Are you ready? Here we go. This was from Zoe. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me
all alone with the memory of my days in the sun.
Oh my God.
Of course, Zoe chose memory from
Of course
Cats.
you did. Cats is literally knocking on your door next week. You're gonna be like, excuse me.
I can't wait. I'd love to be Grizz.
I mean, you're a bit young for her just yet, but,
Watch this space.
Exactly. Right, so what are you going to give us for the next guest?
Okay, so it has to be my favourite musical theatre song?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Hand me my duck, hand me my bag, and an American. I'm going to leave it there, so Joel has to sing the big note.
Yeah, I love
He will.
Hand me my duck, hand me my, and that American, then he'll go flag.
And he will.
He will. He actually will.
Yeah, he will. Grace,
amazing.
It's been such a joy chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining us at the stage door with
Thank you,
Michael
Grace.
And
Divina.
Hooray!
Thank you both. Love you both.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.